What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Dr. Splash, and today we have a special project that we are undergoing. This is Darkseid versus all of Marvel Comics. Essentially, what they're doing in DC, which is the KO tournament that is coming up, where 32 heroes are competing against each other in a tournament, and the winner will go on to face Darkseid for the fate of creation. We are going to do, what if Darkseid did the same thing to Marvel? We have selected 32 heroes who have answered the call to enter this tournament. Hundreds of heroes entered it, but only these 32 made it to this meager tournament. The way we're going to do it is similar to KO. Each character gets their loadout, but they also get an item or weapon of choice. With that in mind, I hope you guys are super excited for this. This will be a 3-part series dropping every Saturday for 3 weeks until we conclude. All right. So I hope you love this concept. And if you do, please smash the like button. 500 plus likes would be incredible before we hit part 2. With that out the way, we're going to go ahead and break down each matchup. Please keep in mind that this is considered a little bit of power scaling, but it's also a lot of narrative, like how I think these characters would be portrayed to do in this tournament in these conditions. With that in mind, I hope you guys really enjoy. Let's hop right in. Now, of course, this being a 32 character tournament, this is 16 fights that we must review in part 1. First fight, 1 of 16, is Strange, or Doctor Strange, versus Punisher. Now, Doctor Strange, most are familiar with him. And most of these, if not all these characters, have content on my channel if you want to go watch a lot of their scaling and stuff. But Doctor Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme, which sometimes, he falls out of that role due to either dying or other bullshit going on. But he has his assortment of spells, his magical items, including his cape and the Eye of Agamotto. And his item that's unique to the loadout that he brought today is the Mark of Death. Now, if you remember this, back in Classic era, for a stretch of time, he received a blessing that literally made him deathless. And in a tournament where you got to get killed to advance, that's a pretty damn good item. You got to do a lot to overcome that. So Doctor Strange is definitely playing to win today. And he is going up against Punisher. Now, Punisher is bringing his ideal loadout. Everything from his War Machine classic armor that you guys remember, to his Hellfire rounds that can pierce anything. And the Space Stone is what he has decided on for his item. This Space Stone will allow him to go pretty much anywhere. Now, in terms of how I think this battle plays out, right? I think Punisher gives him hell. Now, do I think he wins? No, I don't think he would be written to win. I don't think power scaling wise he wins unless he had the beast power still. Different conversation. But that's not the conversation we're having. Frank is going to apply a lot of pressure, might even hurt Doctor Strange. But again, we have the Mark of Death. It's too much. Strange would kill Punisher. He advances beyond part 1. And you can kind of gather items. It's like implied Joker at one point in the tournament takes items from people. We're going to just say if you beat somebody, you can collect the item if you so choose. Strange picks up the Space Stone, advances past part 1. Now onto the second fight of round 2. This one's fucking fire. All right, I did my thing on a few of these matchups when it came to their gear and all that. All right, I got a little creative for y'all. Make sure to smash the like button. Okay, Iron Man versus Jean Grey. Okay, now think about this. These two have scrapped before in comics. Iron Man tried to make the Phoenix Buster. This is a matchup that we need. This main event shit, people. Like, let's be real. Okay, Iron Man is coming into this with his KO suit. That's what he's calling it, the KO armor for this tournament. It's Mysterium and other weaved metals and alloys throughout his time, and included with it, it's powered by a gamma fused core. He brought the gamma core as his item. This is the power of the divine energy of Toa's corruption as revealed in the recent Fractured Sun run. High-powered shit. But he's also going up against Jean Grey. The big question you guys are going to ask, is Jean allowed to access the Phoenix powers? Yes, she can, because we're not bitch made. Okay, this tournament's for real ones only. Now, not only does Jean Grey have her telepathy, her insane power, and the Phoenix Force connection, her own powers are going to be amplified and sharpened by her item she brought and selected, which was the Mind Stone. Mind Stone again will complement her telepathic abilities and her connection to the Phoenix, thus making her a lot sharper in general, massively enhancing her already dangerous moveset. Now, if these two scrap, how do I see this playing out? This one's not easy. Like, this is genuinely not an easy fight to call. Mysterium comes from the white hot room. You know, it's a metal that's that absurd. The Phoenix is connected to that. That's the engine. But we're also not in the white hot room. So I think the Mysterium armor, also combined with other metals he has access to, can withstand some hits from Jean Grey. Do I think she's a fucking problem? Absolutely. Like, it's hard to call on the initial end because of that. Like, it's the Phoenix. How do you bet against that? The Phoenix did recently lose against Gore, did come back, beat it. Just beat back a Black Winter while out of realm. So about Black Winter level. Do I think, using Gamma Core on top of all of his armors being amplified and mixed into one for this KO armor, do I think that's enough to hurt something that's like at least Black Winter level? Yes, I do. I think this suit powered by something like Gamma, the same Gamma from the Godflesh or Fractured Sun, stuff that easily shatters the first firmament, like, yeah, we're going with that. Highest of diffs, Iron Man moves on to round 2, collecting the Mind Stone. Next up, round 3, or fight 3 rather, we have Black Panther versus Iron Fist. If you're a Street Tier fan, if you're a martial arts fan, you're having a lot of fun thinking about this one. Now, Black Panther, the king of Wakanda, the chosen one of his people, has advanced tech, including vibranium tech, knows every martial art plus discrete martial arts taught only in Wakanda, and in general is one of the smartest characters in Marvel. But this is all not only an insane loadout, it's complemented by rune magic claws. The Panther loves to scratch. Why not get some rune magic enhanced claws? These bad boys could probably hurt an Elder God. That's around what they should at least hit at. So he's carrying that as his claws. But will it be enough for the Iron Fist? The Iron Fist, Danny Rand will have full access to the Iron Fist. He's read the book of the Iron Fist, which gives him infinite fighting techniques and abilities to kill him in. On top of this, he has the Staff of Sun Wukong. This is the infamous mythological creature who we should all recognize, honestly, at this point as fans of power scaling. But it's the Marvel version, in my opinion, not as strong, but still did fight Buddha and did all the conventional mythos action fight scenes, including with this staff. So that's what Iron Fist will have. This fight's fun as shit, right? They've always historically been really close in combative ability in like terms of who would win. They've scrapped before too. For this one, while it's really close to call, I'm going to lean Black Panther. I think the rune claws are devastating when they get up close. I think that Staff of Wukong is a major problem. I think people will underestimate how big of a problem that can be here, especially with like its ability to extend, how powerful it actually is. Swinging that around and someone as skilled as Iron Fist using that, disgusting. Like that's really tough to get around. But Panther, through his armor, his will, his own skill, his intelligence, and the rune claws being so dangerous, I think just a couple hits from those, Iron Fist is in serious trouble. For this tournament, I think Black Panther would advance. He is picking up and keeping the Staff of Wukong as he does so. Next up, we have matchup number 4. Gladiator versus Luke Cage. Now, this is a fun one because Gladiator has his usual powers, which is essentially pseudo Superman-like powers, but it's now complemented by his item, which is the Obedience Potion, a relatively obscure Asgardian potion. However, it's tied directly to your will and confidence, and it will, if he takes it with the obedience factor being he has to be at peak confidence, he's going to be practically unstoppable. Like, this is going to be a literally mind hacks Gladiator into being at full confidence at all times. That's terrifying. And he will be taking on Luke Cage. Mr. You owe me $200. Now listen, Luke Cage has his superhuman durability and strength. His physicals have allowed him to brawl with the likes of members of Thanos' inner council, on top of taking hits from Hulk. But he's also going to have the Sentry's powers. Now, the Sentry's powers have been getting passed around lately in Marvel, and I think it's fun and makes sense to give it to Luke here because he had it in his run for Timeless, the Timeless arc. So I think it's sick to give him this power set right now to see if he can progress in the tournament to that level should he win in round 1, which is up in the air. So if these two were to clash, who do I think would win? This is a tough one. Heat Gladiator rocked the shit out of Galactus. And Galactus like, damn, that's the strongest immortals ever hit me. I think he's no joke. But I'm going to favor Luke here. I think with Sentry's powers, he's going to be able to get the job done. He's tough enough. Balls of steel. Absolute beast in the pocket. I think complemented by Sentry's powers. And we know for a fact that someone like Luke with those powers cooks. I think he gets the job done. Now, the obedience potion won't really do much for him moving forward, so I don't even know if he would collect this item. Now, moving on, we have match number 5 of 16, this being Namor versus Human Torch. Now, Namor is a character who historically has brawled with the Fantastic Four, brawled with Hulk, made Thanos bleed, absolute beast, fought the Avengers while underwater, cracked Mjolnir. He's also someone who at this point will be given Poseidon's helmet. This is an item that will allow him to access the knowledge of Poseidon. This is important because he has Poseidon's trident, which was capable of taking on elder gods like Set. And for him to be able to activate its full power and potential makes him that much more dangerous in combat. And he will be taking on Human Torch. Now, Human Torch famously, member of the Fantastic Four, has quite his flame manipulation and production. He even famously nearly died taking on the Annihilation Wave, taking on billions at a time with his supernova ability. He's familiar with Namor's game, the Prince of the Water versus the Prince of Heat. How does this go? He's bringing the Eternal Flame, which, if you guys don't know, is the fire that Surtur uses to spark his power and thus Ragnarok. The Master of the Eternal Flame, is that enough against Poseidon and Namor? This is a tricky one. Now, both of them are absolute beasts. Both of them have great scaling. I do think that Namor is obviously above him in traditional combat. The Eternal Flame makes things very interesting, but with that helmet, with the knowledge of Poseidon, and with his trident, I think Namor can get this done. I have Namor moving on, potentially keeping the Eternal Flame, but we'll see. I don't know, because he's a water guy. Next up, actually, let me know in the comment section. Do the people think Namor would take the Eternal Flame? Let's see if you got this far in the video. Now, 6 of 16 in round 1 is Captain America versus Spider-Man, a classic debate. Now, Cap is someone who is coming in with his typical loadout, which is basically his vibranium alloy shield, on top of his damn near infinite wealth of knowledge when it comes to combat and martial arts, on top of his super soldier serum giving him absurd stats. He, at this point, is bringing the Justice, or the American suit. This suit is vibranium weave, kind of similar to what Black Panther would run around in. Now his suit's fully made of that, and he has his shield. Okay, this boy is dangerous. He is taking on Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man is going to have his conventional Spider-Man powers, his precog, his webbing, his ability to climb walls, his superhuman stats, all those things. They're amazing, right? But he went to Iron Man before this battle. He was like, pimp me out, big homie. Big homie got him right with the Mysterium Iron Spidey suit, okay? This is the traditional Iron Spider, but this time it's made with Mysterium. How would this go if these two were to clash? Now, If it was anything other than Mysterio, I would probably lean serious Captain America versus serious Spider-Man. I do think Cap would be able to get him out of there. However, what Spider-Man selected at this point in time to use, on top of his already comparable abilities, is comparable. Like, it's just a close fight no matter who you lean with. I think Spider-Man gets him. I think he gets him out of there. I think the Iron Spider suit is enough. I think he puts on Cap to move on to the next round, taking Captain America's shield with him. Next, we have fight number 7, which is Battle for the Superpowered Nerds. Okay, I love this one. Blue Marvel versus Mr. Fantastic. Now, Blue Marvel, if you guys don't know, kind of similar to Superman in the sense of his powers. However, that's where it really ends at like superhuman stats and flight, because he has a rumored connection to a primordial power, but essentially anything made of matter he can delete with his powers that he blasts them with. Okay, this is no joke. Knocked out Sentry before. He's erased the Ivory King, which is a Beyonder. He erased its physical form, forcing it to have to come back later. Like, he's a beast. He's an absolute monster. And he brought today an item from one of his journeys, which is the Eternity Mask. He witnessed this in Defenders Beyond. It essentially puts you on par with anything in Marvel in terms of power levels. It's a stats equalized option. He's going against Mr. Fantastic. Now, Mr. Fantastic's coming in with his typical loadout, which is his stretch abilities, his insane brilliance, one of the smartest characters in fiction, and his experience as a member of the Fantastic Four, and as someone who literally rebuilt the Marvel cosmos. Like, he's the architect behind it. He decided to bring in the Fantastic Adaptoid. Mr. Fantastic created an Adaptoid based on his knowledge of all the participants in this tournament and items he deemed possibly being showcased in this tournament. Now, who do I think wins if these two brilliant individuals clash? If it was a regular straight-up fight, Blue Marvel mops it every day of the week. But this Fantastic Adaptoid is definitely something to be worried about. I do think it would be able to take on perhaps base level Blue Marvel, but I don't think Fantastic would have a read on him beyond that. And I think worst case he can use the Eternity Mask to take it out, but I think at worst he would get to Mr. Fantastic before this Adaptoid can get to him. I think he puts him down and he will Blue Marvel wins, taking the Adaptoid with him to the next round. Next up, we have round 8. We're halfway through this first video. We have Black Bolt versus Cyclops. King of the X-Men versus King of the Inhumans. Now, Black Bolt has his usual loadout, his enhanced physical stats, his ability to matter manipulate, allowing him to do things like fly, hit as hard as nearly the Hulk, but he also has his insane Inhuman voice, which literally can take out Celestials. It's no joke. Like, if he uses his full voice, a lot of things in Marvel die. He is taking on someone who's not a bitch in his own right. Now, this is Cyclops. Cyclops is someone who's been the leader of X-Men for countless journeys. He's taken on basically anything in Marvel you can think of, even the Avengers, even the good guys. His power, he literally has aimbot. That's one of his powers. A lot of people don't know that. But he also is connected to a dimension of energy, allowing him to project it through his eyes. Okay. So if these two were to clash, Cyclops bringing celestial armor, he has seen Apocalypse wear. This will give him more weapons, as well as obviously enhancing his physical stats. How do I see this going? With Black Bolt using cosmic rods to essentially keep his batteries full this whole fight, we have infinite stamina Black Bolt, not holding back, trying to kill celestial armor Cyclops. I do think Cyclops has a real good chance here, especially I think he's a better tactician. I think he's a better fighter. But Black Bolt's just so fucking strong. I'm sorry. Like, he just is. Like, if you think about it, he's erased celestial armor before with Apocalypse. Like, just blew him away with a simple shout. Real chance he gets Cyclops here. In fact, I think he does get Cyclops here. I think he's too much. I think they're going to give Black Bolt his respect here. He's gonna erase Cyclops, but There's going to be no armor for him to take the next round. He's just moving on. The King of the Inhumans advances.
So I actually decided to call an audible, and we will end part 1 here. We're going to drop this in 4 parts. Part 1 being 8 battles from round 1. Part 2 being the conclusion of round 1, which is another 8 battles. Then part 3 being the round of 16, which is 8 battles. And then part 4 being the final 4, final battle, and then the battle against Darkseid. It should be incredible. I'm super excited. I had a lot of fun making this. Let me know what you're excited to see as I'm talking right now, as this conclusion speech is going. You are seeing the next rounds of battles. Guess the items that will be used. Guess who you think will win. I'm excited to see what you guys think. This next part will be dropping next Monday. Finale should be out around the time of Halloween. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been your host, Dr. Splash. And remember, it's Yancey Street, bitches.